So here's what I see when I go into most businesses, when I get a phone call. Most of them do not have a plan to grow their business. Number two, there's a shortage of the right talent. How many of you have heard the saying, practice makes perfect? No, it doesn't. The right practice makes perfect. I'm a mediocre golfer. I can go hit a lot of balls on the driving range, and I can practice a lot. I'm still a mediocre golfer until I get somebody to help me know how to improve. And what slight adjustment do I need to make? If you know anything at all about golf, you'll know that how you hold the club is really important. Not just holding the club. See, if I hand you a club, you would know which end to hold in your hand. And you would kind of sort of look like a golfer. But a 16th of an adjustment, a 16th of an inch of an adjustment of your left hand will decide how big a fade and how big a slice you have in your golf game. All the little adjustments. So I'm going to share with you the formula to grow your business and have more success so the business will run without you, and how to advance your career. But you have to be willing to pay attention to the little adjustments you need to make. I find inconsistent execution. According to Harvard Business Review, the number one reason CEOs are terminated in America for 5 years in a row is inability to execute. Failure to execute consistently. So if you don't have a good plan, you don't have the right talent, and you can't execute, you are running the risk of going out of business. Or somebody buying you, or taking over, or somebody putting two companies together and dominating your place, your marketplace. In order to fit this presentation in 45 minutes, we've given you a handout that has a bunch of the research that I've pulled together that will prove to you that great talent gives you an edge to execute. So there's a lot of research in there that ought to get your attention and help understand the bottom line impact of talent. I find average leadership talent in most organizations, we'll talk about that in just a moment, that the discipline for systems, I've owned a franchise in my lifetime. One of the things I do when I coach my business owners, I've worked with franchisors and I've worked with franchisees, is that I have helped put systems and processes in place so that the business will run more consistently, just like a McDonald's, for example. McDonald's, how many of you go to McDonald's because they have the best food that you've ever eaten? Look around the room. The answer is none. But they are consistent. You can get the same high-calorie, high-fat Big Mac with the exact same number of pickles anywhere in the world. And I've done it. It's the same in Germany as it is in Plymouth, Michigan. Because they're consistent, and the company can be run with 16-year-olds who don't make their bed in the morning, and their supervisor is a 65-year-old who's had to come back to work because their 401k's in the tank. Running multi-billion-dollar operations effectively if they can read and follow the process. Unpredictable profits is another something I see. The business will not run without the CEO or the president of the company. Companies are not differentiating themselves. Leadership development is not a business priority. How many of you have heard the saying, talent is my greatest asset. People are my greatest asset. And when a CEO says that to me, I just have a hard time at the beginning of a relationship saying, no, it's not. Yes, it is, John. Really? Show me your budget. Prove it. And they can't. Their budget for developing people at best is tiny. In most organizations, it's not even a line item. Oh, we do some training. See, in today's business climate, one of the things you need to know is there is no guarantee about tomorrow. None. Zero. Service is average at best. How many of you, by show of hands, in the southwestern part of Michigan, can name two companies that are extraordinary, not good, extraordinary at their service model? Who can raise their hand because you know two? Okay, one guy kind of going like this. What if your company's differentiator was service? The way you take care of today's customers and tomorrow's customers. Because I find in most businesses, service in America is about average at best. I've even gone so far as to say, I think service in a good part of America sucks. I really do. It's an average at best. We go to the same 5 or 6 restaurants all the time. And we get the same food. It's pretty predictable. We'll get primarily the same dishes, the service, the price, the cleanliness. But it's never extraordinary. I just don't get extraordinary very often. What if your company designed a culture to be extraordinary at what you do when it comes to your interactions with the customer?